Do you shiver in your boots when you have to go up against a professional buyer? Does it frustrate you when you've been trying to sell to the end users, or you've been trying to sell to the business owners, and now they pass you over to procurement or to purchasing, and you're thinking, oh goodness, now I've got to go up against these guys and all they want to do is look at price? Well, you won't be alone. It's one of the major issues when we work with people in sales roles that they tell us that they face, is having to negotiate with professional buyers. My name is Jan Potgieter, and I've had the opportunity over the last 13 years to train more than 8,000 people face-to-face, working with some of the largest organizations in the world, FTSE 100 and Fortune 500 businesses in 46 different countries, helping them to improve the results from their negotiation skills, both on the buy side and the sell side, as well as the executive domain. So working with companies in mergers and acquisitions, large infrastructure projects, consulting on many different transactions in excess of $1 billion of value. I've negotiated face-to-face with about 3,000 people to date. And I tell you all of this because I'm not trying to impress you, but because I want to create for you a reference point that I could bring perspective to the way that you might look at your negotiations. Because I've seen how many different people approach negotiations, specifically in a sales context, in a purchasing context, within a business context. I'm able to offer you some insights that you might be able to put to good use. So, salespeople often misunderstand that buyers need results. They get measured by achieving savings against spend, right? And if you look at some of the science that underpins this, we know when you look at the research around what creates satisfaction in negotiations, we know that getting something from your counterpart, so gaining a concession from your counterpart, convincing them to move from their initial position to a more moderate position, is the primary contributor to deal satisfaction. So it's the primary thing that makes people feel satisfied. The primary thing is that they feel that they've gotten something from you. I think we're all mature enough, we all understand that we don't always get what we want, specifically in the context of doing business, closing transactions. We don't always get the price we want. But then it's very interesting if we think that so often we approach negotiations from a perspective. Listen, I've even seen my competition, I've even seen negotiation training providers refuse to negotiate on price with buyers. So they refuse to create satisfaction for their counterparts, which I find astounding for somebody who's in the business of delivering negotiation consultancy and training. But if this is true, think about it. One of the other key principles that underpin human behavior is the principle of reciprocity, which says that we return to others the form of behavior that they exhibit towards us. So if you think about it now, if we say that what makes people feel satisfied with an outcome is the fact that they think that they've gained something, so that they've gotten a concession, and if we know that the key principle that governs human behavior is reciprocity, which states that we return to others the form of behavior that they exhibit towards us, then why will you not set yourself up to make some concessions? The way that you're going to please a professional buyer is by making some concessions. You cannot go in with your opening offer being the best offer that you can potentially make. This just will not deliver a result that will be acceptable to your counterpart. Because think about it now. Now you're going in. Let's say your list price is $100, and you can only go down, or let's say you're able to discount to $95, and now you're thinking to yourself, man, I'm going in against these professional buyers. I better give them the best price we can potentially do. And I go in at $95, and now they come back and they say, hang on, we need a better deal than $95. And I go and I say, well, hang on, I've given you our best price of $95. Normally the list price is $100. I can't move anymore. And now you're wondering why the professional buyer keeps on demanding a concession. Because from their perspective, the way it works is they don't recognize that you've already made a concession from $100 to $95, because you didn't tell them that the price went from $100 to $95. Your first offer was at $95. So they're expecting you to still make another concession off that price. And of course, I'm talking about price here, but this is equally true for any terms that support the way that you sell, or the way that your company does business. It's not just price. It could be payment terms. It could be logistical arrangements. It could be quality. Any number of things. Service level agreements. This applies equally to all of those areas. You have to set yourself up to be able to offer concessions, right? And this means that you have to sometimes push the boat out a little bit. You're going to be ambitious in terms of the prices that you wish to receive. Now, very carefully, or listen to what I'm saying. I'm not suggesting that you should be extreme in your demands. I'm not saying use the extreme offer, not at all. Certainly, we know that the extreme offer is a tactic that has a strong cultural context, and I'm not suggesting that you use that certainly not within Western Europe and North America. But you have to be ambitious. One of the key contributors or characteristics of successful achievers in any line or pursuit, when we talk about politics, sports, arts, business, we know that these folks have higher ambitions. They simply expect and demand more than the rest of us do. So one of the key common characteristics of high achievers is the fact that they're ambitious in their demands. So you should invite the opportunity, embrace the opportunity to negotiate. Don't make decisions on behalf of your counterparts. I've seen so many times around the way that purchasing processes are designed that, of course, think about what the buyer is trying to do, the professional buyer. They're tasked with commoditizing what you're presenting so that they can create a base upon which they can evaluate everything, apples for apples, if you will. It's your job as a salesperson, of course, to create differentiation. So, there's a built-in conflict there already. But now if you think about it, the professional buyer, she gets measured by the savings that they achieve. So they're only going to be pleased, they're only going to be satisfied if they gain some concession. So you have to make sure that you engineer your sales process in such a way that you're able to offer concessions, right? So that you, also we know this, that negotiation becomes a lot easier if you can make negotiation not just about one item, but about many different items. So you're going to see how you can just move away from just focusing on price to including many other things. And of course, what you have to be able to do before you can do that is to uncover the interests of your counterpart. You have to be able to understand what makes them tick, what it is that they want to achieve, not just with this transaction, but over the short term, over the medium term, over the long term. Those can all open up opportunities for you that you can maybe identify other angles to bring to the negotiation. You can introduce other parameters to move the focus specifically from price. But a key procedural element that you've got to keep in mind is that it's a great thing to negotiate with your counterpart, not to negotiate with yourself. So get them to say no to you. When that buyer says no to you, that they can't afford this price, that's a great opportunity. You have a moment of power because now you can make a concession and you can create satisfaction for that buyer. So set yourself up so that you're always asking for a little bit more than you need to get so that you're able to offer the buyer some concessions. I hope that you found this insightful and that you have an idea or two that you can use to assist you in getting better results from your negotiations with professional buyers. Here's to your continued success. Thank you for watching.